Well, for more on the story, our foreign editor, Kethevane Gorjestani, joins us on this set. Hello to you, Kethevane. We saw it briefly in that report, various reactions about this tragedy in Gaza City. What were some of the reactions you've been looking at most closely?
Well, of course, there was a widespread global condemnation and thoughts for those victims and the people who were wounded. But of course, the reaction of the United States is pretty significant. The president himself said that his administration was checking the two competing versions of what happened. And as we heard in that report, they're pressing for some answers from the Israelis. But the U.S. really was short from assigning any blame to either side for what happened. Besides that, of course, in the Middle East, the leaders were quick to point out that this was yet another tragedy for the people of Gaza and yet another sign and event of the targeting of unarmed civilians in the Strip. In Europe, as we saw with the French president, Emmanuel Macron, they called this unacceptable. And both the French and the Spaniards also said that this latest incident really showed the need for an urgent ceasefire because there have been people, whether it's leaders or organizations who try to work in the Gaza Strip, who are saying that the only reason that this incident was even able to happen is because there is not enough aid getting into the Gaza Strip. And that is why you're seeing thousands of people who are on the brink of famine, according to the United Nations. That's why you're seeing these events of having thousands of people storm these aid convoys. And that is really the underlying reason for this to happen. And now there is this call by the United Nations Secretary General saying that he wants an independent investigation into what happened. France has just said by its foreign minister that it will likely support that independent investigation. And the foreign minister, the French foreign minister, saying that the humanitarian situation has been catastrophic for several weeks, and what happened is indefensible and unjustifiable. Israel needs to be able to hear it, and it needs to stop. So really a new round of calls for that ceasefire to happen.
Yeah, what does this mean for those ceasefire negotiations?
Well, I think the real response to that is the one that the U.S. President gave when he was asked, do you think that this latest incident is going to complicate things when it comes to those talks? And he says, I know it will. And as we heard in the report, he is no longer thinking that there could be a deal by Monday. The hope and the goal is still to find a deal by the start of Ramadan, which is March 10th. So these talks are still ongoing, talks for that ceasefire and for the release of those hostages, still about 130 hostages that are being held by Hamas and other groups. So this is definitely going to complicate things, not only because it creates yet another event that antagonizes both the Israeli forces and Hamas, but also because it antagonizes some of the main mediators, especially leaders from Qatar, for example, who have been trying to mediate those talks and who have come out very forcefully against the Israeli forces for what happened. And so you're going to see everyone try to push for these talks to continue. But whether or not they will succeed and they will succeed urgently is yet another question.
All right, Kethevane, thank you very much. Kethevane Gorjestani, our foreign editor.